For the inaugural episode of Tir-Kai Tales, we meet stuntwoman Michele Waitman. A former competitive gymnast and cheerleader, Michele fell into her stunt career and has worked alongside some of Hollywood's brightest stars. With 30 years in the industry, Michele marks her greatest accomplishment as being that of her family and can still be seen performing at Walt Disney World. So buckle up as we journey behind the scenes into the life of Michele Waitman. Hi, Michele. Thank you so much for joining us here on Tir-Kai Tales, our inaugural podcast. I'm so excited to have you with us. Woohoo!
Thank you, Jackie. Mwah, I love you. Thank you for being here. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is just really exciting. I couldn't think of a better person to have for my inaugural broadcast for Tir-Kai Tales.
You're so sweet.
So great. Amazing stunt woman, amazing mother, amazing wife, amazing friend. You just amazing Christian, just have so many great stories to tell. And I really think your life can make such an impact for up and coming stunt performers, equestrians, any listeners that have a drive and a motivation to achieve their dreams. And I'm really excited to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's so awesome to be here too. I'm excited too.
You look great. You look fantastic. Wow. So hopefully our listeners will check into a YouTube channel and we'll be able to also see our recording as well and enjoy and listen and watch. Cool. So Michele, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Yes. I would love to ask you a little bit about your family structure growing up. What do you think was the most dynamic impact of that family structure? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
My childhood, my parents, both of them, brought me up Catholic I went to private school first through 8th grade. And I do think that was actually a major impact in my life because of the structure that I had there and the discipline and my faith. So I think that, and also my I'm very family orientated. My parents have always supported me in anything and everything I wanted to do, anything. We didn't have a lot of money, but I always was able to do whatever I wanted to do. Gymnastics was a huge part of my life. And my parents also, they supported me. They supported me in every way, whether coming to all my gymnastics meets and just supporting me in every way they can, emotionally, financially, and every way. So I had a very strong family orientation and where I was brought up. And again, I think that most of it probably is, like I said, started off at a young age in being in private school. That was very, very important to my mom. I have an older brother and a younger brother, and we all went at least 1st through 8th grade, and then some went longer. But that was really a great beginning that I had with them. Yeah,
that's so fantastic. I think that's so key and core. Can make such a difference to have that family, that strong family background, and that family support. To have parents that are involved.
Yeah, no, but yes, exactly correct. That's always been part of my life too, because that's what they taught me. And I've always been a part of my kids, part of their life and their structure, and whether it's a school, sports, whatever, you know what I mean. But super, super supportive, and I couldn't have done anything without my parents and my family, how I was brought up.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned about being raised Roman Catholic, and how much of an impact your faith had on you. Do you think that helped you not only in your academics, but also in your athletics, and just that helped you give you peace and a sense of strength in some of your earlier challenges?
I definitely think earlier and later. Actually, probably even, I would say probably more later even on, because definitely my faith, I rely on praying to God every day and helping me get through things, even though I know that he's helped me learn that physically of what I can and cannot do. But I also know that I believe in him, that I will make the right decision through him, that I know whether I can do it or not. And it actually has helped me and I quite a few stunts and stuff that I've done, that it's actually helped me more, I would say, later on. And I actually feel like I'm even more of a spiritual person now than I was even before. But I don't think, but I think that having that strong, that that strong balance at the beginning and the strong core at the beginning with my parents, I think that's helped
Yes.
out quite a bit for sure.
That's
Yeah,
so fantastic.
yeah.
It gave you those building blocks, kind of the
Oh
founding
yeah.
stones that you can
Mhm.
stand on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
That's
agree with that
awesome.
completely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Tell us a little bit about your hometown. Again, where specifically you're from, and what impact did that have kind of growing up on some of your
Um,
views and things?
I'm born and raised here in Orlando, Florida. Woohoo!
Yay!
Probably one of the few that are still here, or, you know what I mean?
I
Seriously,
love it.
or that have born here. Yeah, so I love Orlando. I am. I gotta be. I gotta be in the sun, the heat. If I'm up there, up north, I like the cold, but I just don't know if I could live there. But I love living here in Orlando. There's like tons of stuff I haven't even seen in Orlando. You know what I mean? But I feel grateful that I was here in Orlando and how that's how I was brought up. And I don't know whether I have a strong um, sense of being that it was it. I don't know how about structuring me and what I did, but I just always enjoyed living here. And I love being out in the sun. I love doing outside sports. I love swimming and just all different kinds of things like that. So I don't know whether I just again up north and up in the cold. I'm not sure if that's for me. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I know you've been up there quite a bit.
Yes.
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 But
But
go ahead.
I can agree what you're saying about having that wonderful outdoor environment is
Yes.
conducive to encouraging the type
Yeah.
of career that you've chosen and being physically active. I think it
Yeah.
does
Well,
have
I
a big
think
impact on that.
it does, and just even being out in nature, I love being outside, and it just feels so good. And I feel bad for people who live in the cities that are just like when it's all gray and it's very kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Luckily in Orlando, you got sun most of the time. It's not depressing. It's beautiful. You see the sunshine and the birds and it just is. I love it. So
Yes.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I really really enjoy Orlando. Um, and it's
The
great.
city
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
great. And I think that's cool. I think you brought up a good point about nature, being part of it, being one with it, and experience it as much as possible. And in your career, you've had a great opportunity to work out in the elements and
Yeah.
work out in nature a lot, and have it kind of inspire you, give you a sense of peace, and just to be able to use your career in that type of an element is amazing. So kind
Yeah.
of guiding in that direction, what or who inspired you to pursue your career path? What was the determining factor that made Michelle Waitman a stunt woman? Tell us a little bit about your athletic background and how
Um,
you kind of got into this.
well, honestly, I didn't, that wasn't my, a lot of people know exactly what they want to do. I want to be a stunt man. I want to be a stunt woman. I did not know that. I was always athletic all my life. Gymnastics was my core, my background. I went to college on a gymnastics scholarship. Unfortunately, after the first year, they canceled. Then I was a cheerleader. I just was always athletic, always. One after cheerleading and graduated from college, I did fitness competitions. I did aerobic competitions. I mean, I just like to be physical and do a lot of different things like that. But after I graduated, I came back to Orlando and I was with my family for a while. And actually, I was a can dancer at Rosie O'Grady's.
Wow, get
Yeah,
those kicks.
yeah, oh yeah. So my flexibility came in handy there. So, but anyhow, so I did some dancing little like events on the side, and there was a gentleman there who was in our group that he worked at the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, and he said, "Oh my gosh, you've got." They had a private audition, and I got in the first half of the first year that they opened. So I was in that first year, and I was hired in at Indiana Jones in 1989, and that basically changed my life. I did not know that at the time, but that's what happened. It changed my life. I mean, I'd never even seen the show. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I know how to tumble, but what do you mean? Throw a punch? Yeah. So I luckily got the amazing opportunity to work with one of the best, Glenn Randall Jr., who was a stunt coordinator for Raiders of the Lost Ark and
Wow.
many other movies, as you know, too.
Yes.
And
So awesome.
so I actually had great connection of the first time to be learning stunts and punches and whatever I was doing by someone the best. So
Yeah.
that was a great opportunity for me. And that, as soon as getting into that show, I knew that was my path. I knew I was a performer, and stunt work is about performing.
Yes.
I was knew as a performer, and I knew that stunts was what I wanted to do. And I loved it. I was a sponge like everybody else there. And we're talking over 33, how many, I don't know how many years ago. It was
Yeah.
quite a long time. But we were all, and like we were all young and wanted to learn from one another. We helped each other, and everybody came from different fields, whether it's martial arts, whether it's skiing, whether it's this, that, and everybody had brought something to the table where you learned from. So I learned a lot of different things there. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, I was a gymnast, trampoline, mini tramp I did, but we did other things, teeter board, high falls, punches, all this stuff. I had not a clue. And so that's where I started learning and starting really, really getting into like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a stunt woman. I loved it. I loved it. It was so awesome.
That's
So
so
that
amazing.
was kind of my beginning. So yes. And yeah, I still love the show.
You still love the show. Do you still do the show, Michelle?
And I still do the show. Yes, I
Yay.
do. And I'm very proud to be probably one of the oldest Marions doing it, because I work hard at it too, and
Yes.
I love doing it. That's one of the best things of, you know, I've been so blessed in my life to be able to do that show and to be have rewards to all these people who come and make this beautiful magic for them to see the
Yeah.
show, and their kids, and they love it. And then I also have done, film and television work where I've done stunt work there, and that's been awesome too on a
Yes.
different level. They're just totally different,
Yes.
but they're both great, and I've
Yeah.
had the opportunity to do both, and I'm so grateful for that. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
That's so
Um,
fantastic because it
yeah.
feels like one feeds into the other and one helps the other
It,
aspect
it,
blossom, whether it's live show or whether it's film and television.
yes.
What kind of advice would you have for up and coming stunt performers that, want to get into this or are kind of looking at the possibility of doing live shows to start their training, or those that are, maybe all of a sudden got tafted and they got their
Yeah.
SAG card real quick? What would
Um,
you recommend?
well, I do think live shows are a great experience because you also not only you meet other people in the business who then you can work with and practice with, train with, and so I think live shows are a great avenue to go into. Years ago, the film and television work did not think highly upon people who did live stunt show. I don't know that it just was a feeling like they didn't think that they were. I don't know, not that we were good enough. I don't know. There was just some kind of a difference. Things have
Yeah.
changed.
Almost like a
There
stigma, huh?
It's almost like a stigma, yes.
Yeah.
But things have changed, and I do believe that I think that I know that there are so many amazing stunt men and women coordinators that started off with live shows and now are like big wigs, and they're doing amazing stuff and coordinating or this and that, but they start off in live shows.
Yeah.
So the stigma, it's not there anymore. I do think it's a great avenue to go to, and I think that anybody who is starting off should continue to. The main thing I would suggest, of course, is keep working on your craft and try to get a lot of variety of different things. When you're
Yes.
a stunt double, and as well as I do, you have to. You never know who you're doubling, what you need to do. So you want to be good at everything. It's great to be great at something, like
Yes.
whether you're a great gymnast and you can do the flipping stuff, or maybe you're a great equestrian, can do horse, or you're a good horse girl, or you're a good fire girl. But it's good to know every little bit, because you never know, like when you're doubling somebody, a lead actress,
Yeah.
next thing you know, this happened to me many times where, okay, oh, well, your lead person, your double, is doing a car stunt or something. Now, if it's a crazy car stunt, they're going to get the professional who can do that. But
Yes.
there are so many stunts that aren't like just, it's a stunt, but it's not like huge. But
Mhm.
you need to be able to do that to double your lead girl. Whether it's riding a motorcycle, from A to B, yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
I may not be able to jump over, a 50-foot pond or whatever on a motorcycle, but I can ride a motorcycle. So
Right.
that will help my lead when I'm doubling her on a whole movie. I can do the whole thing.
Yes.
So I would still continue to, with your craft, keep training on a lot of different areas, and take advice from everybody, because you know what, yeah, and you know what, you take it, doesn't mean that may not be the right thing or whatever, but you listen, take everything in. There's
Yeah.
always different ways of learning. Like, for example, Jackie, and I know also, with like certain punches, certain
Yes.
punches for Indiana Jones. We have a big stage. We
Right.
want big punches,
Yes.
and then there's some punches where you got to keep them tight in and do that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So doesn't mean there's only one type of punch. There's different types of high falls, or this is what they want you to do. So there's always different techniques to everything, and learn from everyone, learn
Yeah.
their technique. And then, so you have a couple under your belt, what you need for when a coordinator asks you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you brought up that good point. It sums it up, like you said earlier, when you were learning with Glenn Randall Jr., of being a sponge. You said that you were a
Yeah.
sponge because the gymnastics brought you into the world, but
Yes.
then you were a sponge and learned all these other tools for your toolbox as being a stunt woman. And
Exactly.
I would imagine that was thrilling and exciting, and letting you know that, hey, this is really what I want to do for a career, because I'm going to keep growing and look at all the different things that I'm going to be learning. And as a live show performer, right? I mean, you have to learn all of that.
It was super exciting. I was a lot younger then too.
Yeah.
And I was a sponge, and I wanted to learn from everybody and learn everything, whatever I could. But that also, like you said, helps you. And you know what I mean? And coming from gymnastics, I had a lot of good, there was some things which was nice, that came natural.
Right.
Because it's a great sport for that. But still, it's just great to learn so many different things from everybody, and then just to move on. Yeah, it was definitely, it was great. I'm so grateful that I'm grateful that my friend thought about me, and he got me in there. And I'm grateful that when I got in, to have that great training.
Yes.
And then to keep pushing myself to say, okay, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I got it. Then you still have to put the hard work in. It's not like it, so we all have to do the work.
Do the work.
And with like that, like your mom, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. We have to still continue practicing our skills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's another thing, that an advantage that live performers have going into film and television is taking those constant notes, and also being able to do something repetitively over and over and over again. You always want to get the shot in one, but if they need it from another angle, or maybe we need to work on the timing of the special effects with that particular ratchet pull or something like that, to be able to say, yep, I got another one in me. Yep, I got it, as many as you want. A live show performer is cranking out show after show after show. They're a professional athlete day after day. So they have that to offer, to bring to the table for film and television.
They do, because they have the pounding on their body that they've been doing over and over again. And like, for example, you do a stunt, say, and maybe I'm hitting the ground, boom, boom, boom. Well, I'm done with my scene. Tomorrow I get to recuperate and I'm finished. You know what I'm saying? So, but the next day when you're at the live show, I might have been pounding and my body's still sore, but I got to do it again. So no, there definitely is a difference, and it's an advantage to help in film and television also.
Yes.
So I think they both help each other. So that's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that, when you did get to work with Glenn Randall Jr., if there's one thing that you could mention that was the most exciting moment, or a great lesson that he gave you, or some words of wisdom, or something, or anything that pops out that might, it's just exciting someone to get to work with that man is amazing.
Well, words of wisdom. I'm not, he literally had to help me a little bit with my acting. So I'm being honest with you, as a stunt performer, acting is part of it. They come hand in hand. And so he helped me quite a bit, and it was good. And it was good information, and a good experience at my younger age to learn and know, especially from somebody like him. So, cause that is so important actually. And when you do stunts, you are an actor. It's funny. This is one little story I just remember. I was doubling this young girl, and she was this young actress, and she was like 18. She was very young, and it was like a young boy, and the bad guy, he's coming at me, whatever, like kills me or is coming, whatever. It's always some kind of stuff where I'm doing something physical of screaming, fighting, whatever.
Yes.
Anyhow, I did it first before she did it. They asked me to do it first. And so I did the whole scene beforehand, and we got into the afterward, and so they were just getting the cameras ready, the lighting, everything's perfect. So we got into the van to drive back, and now she's a young girl, and she hasn't done a ton. She's not like an A-list actress or whatever. So she just looked at me, and she's just like, I can't do that. And I said, what do you mean you can't do that? She goes, you are so good. I can't. I said, yes, you can. This is what you do. That you can do that, because she was seeing my acting. Because I can't just, if someone's coming at me, you get in your mind, okay, this guy is going to kill me with that knife. What am I going to do? This is real. You have to this is all make believe. All of our movies is make believe, but you got to make it look real, because that's the only way it's going to work.
Yes.
So she was super sweet, and by the end she was just hugging me, and it was just so sweet. I felt like a mom to her anyhow, you know what I mean? But it was nice, because I feel like I helped her out a little bit. She was really nervous, but she could do it. She was, but she just kind of just needed to build her confidence a little bit more. And I think, just like I said, seeing me, that's part of what we do. You got to act it. And it's not my face they want to see. It's her face.
Yeah.
She's the actress.
Mhm.
I don't, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. You're going to see my back of my head and my arms screaming, or I'm whatever they're trying to kill me, but it's her they want to see. And she had it in her, and she did a great job. Wonderful. She needed to build her confidence up, and she could do it. But no, it's definitely a big part of what we do is as acting. Yeah.
That's so fantastic. And bringing up about giving someone confidence. We all have moments in our lives when we meet those people that help give us confidence to believe in ourselves and that, hey, we can do this, but
oh my gosh, yeah.
Having someone that sets that good example. And would you say as a stunt double, it's one, your responsibility to help protect the actor and keep them safe on set, by doing the stunt.
Right.
But also, I think a lot of people don't realize that sometimes it's our responsibility to keep the actor or actress safe while they do some of their own work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totally. Yeah. I mean, there's so many times where whatever I do the performance beforehand to see what is going to happen, or if there's something, and I can say to her, hey, watch out. If you move over to the left a little bit, you're going to hit your elbow. You're going to help your elbow right there on that, or this and that. I'll go through it to kind of protect her. And you're right. We protect them. That's kind of our job. She's, I help her with her pads, bring her pads if she needs it. You know what I mean? Or just try to make it safe as possible for everyone. Right. Not only the actress, but myself and my coworkers as well. We all, that's what you should do on a set is look out for one another. Whether it's my gag or not. If it's not my gag, it's okay. I'm still going to be there to spot on the side, bring a pad, just be there for moral support, whatever the coordinator needs me for. You know what I mean? So, and that's what we should do as human beings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As human beings, we take care of each other.
Yes.
And that's the one thing also about what we do with stunts also is about being safe. Mm-hmm. Number one, safety, number one. That's what we want. We want to come out walking away from, it's super fun and your adrenaline's going and you love doing it, but you want to come out safe and you want to be able to keep moving and doing whatever you need to do for your life,
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Number one.
Yeah. So both of you can go on and do your job the next day, and help each other and stuff. Yeah. It's just, I think you said it's teamwork. There's so many people, whether it's a live show or whether it's from a television, that are part of that creative process.
Oh my gosh.
And you all have your own job and you have to keep each other safe. And
whether it's a costuming person helping me with, if they know that we're going to be going through glass, maybe she's got me a jean jacket on instead of short sleeves. Now that doesn't always happen, but if you can, I mean, on Buffy a ton. That was so awesome because they really knew what she did. She, come on, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, she kicked butt. That's what she did. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she kicked butt. So with everything she did, they really were conscious about that. As the costuming, they would have her with jeans on, or they had specific boots that I could wear for throwing kicks, that I know it's more agile, and I could really move in my pants or whatever.
Yes.
They did that a lot. And then, like, even the wig people try not to put certain pins in a certain way. If you're going to be doing a certain fall or whatever, they're trying to protect you so the pin doesn't come in your head when you get hit the ground or whatever.
Yes.
So, yeah, a combination of everybody, doing their job and try to help everybody out. You know what I mean? It's teamwork. Yeah.
That's so great. And talking about costuming and teamwork. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is, women as stunt performers have a little bit of an added challenge occasionally because of our wardrobe. We don't have the luxury of hiding pads under long pants.
Oh my gosh.
We're usually in heels and a dress.
I know, exactly. When I very first started, and one of the great coordinator, who is my dear friend, John Medlin, who helped start me out in the business, and I owe a ton to. And he was a coordinator for Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat series that was being filmed at MGM Studios at the time.
Wow.
At Disney. And so I started off with him, and this was early on in my career when I very first started, and I was basically like a flipping double. So they had these girls, and so I just would do the flipping. And luckily, he saw in me that he knew my flexibility, and I was a gymnast, and he helped teach me martial arts for film and television. So that's kind of how I started a little bit going further into it. And thank goodness he helped me, because then I not only a flipping double, I doubled about every girl in there all the time, a ton of girls. You know what I mean? And then I was not only that, but I was also doing the fights with the martial arts along with the flipping. But they wore hardly anything, like little boy shorts and a little teeny top. You never, and sometimes I would come in there and go, they can't get any smaller. They can then. And they did. I swear. They came out, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, they had small outfits on for Mortal Kombat back then. Yeah.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
You do your job, and and that's it. You try, and they do try to make it safe as much as can. I remember when I doubled the Olsen twins. It was Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Yes.
And the one time she had like a towel on her. So, and she was getting hit. I was on the bicycle on like a handlebars, and we got hit with something, whatever. And we came off rolling. Well, they actually made this pad that looked very, very thin, which looked like cement, because they knew when I hit the ground,
wow,
your skin is going to go just right on that concrete, and you're going to be bleeding every time. I mean, honestly, they needed to do that for them to do repeat, so we could do it over and over again or whatever. And also that I didn't get hurt. Plus, so I could wear the towel like that. Yeah. So that was great. That was a wonderful way to do that in such little costumes.
Yes. Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah. For that one, that was really, really, it worked out really good.
Yeah. A lot of ingenuity that goes into, I think that a lot of people don't realize the creative process that goes into
you have to, I think,
designing stunts.
And you're right, Jackie, because you got to think of everything. Because again, I could do that. I could hit the cement with my bare shoulder, but just logically, everyone knows anybody's going to probably, if we do it coming off a bicycle and you got some heat coming on you, you're going to get scraped up and probably start bleeding. And then next thing you know, she's not bleeding in the next scene. Should she be bleeding in that scene? Or how many times can we do this? We need to do it from another angle. And the best thing is what they did for that particular stunt was to have that so we could do it over again.
Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Kind of bringing into Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Mortal Kombat and a lot of the amazing people that you've had the opportunity to double. What's maybe one of your favorite stories from, say, Buffy that happened? I mean, there's a plethora of them, I know, but maybe one of the most impactful ones or memorable ones that you look fondly on.
I had so many. Buffy has been one of the most amazing, and I have to admit and say, I only did the last 3 seasons of Buffy. amazing. I mean, stunt double, lead actress, and every day we're kicking butt and doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the amazing journey to get that job, and I was very grateful for that. And I got that because I did audition with John Medlin was my coordinator at the time. He actually had an audition in California, and they actually got another girl. Her name was Melissa Barker, and they actually brought us. We both came out to kind of for the first episode and try out, and they were going to pick one of us. Well, thank goodness, Sarah Michelle Gellar and everybody loved us both and said we want them both. So
wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome because not only did I get to do that, but I also worked with one of my best friends because we became instant friends and worked together every week. I mean, to go to work and I'm with our friend, we're working together, buddies. So half the time I would do fights and then she would do wire work. Then the next episode, we would switch it. So next time I would do the wire work, she'd do fights. And we both also had a really healthy relationship, competitive relationship with one another because I mean, she kicked butt. And so I learned from her. She learned from me. And that was great because her background was martial arts and I was a gymnast. So she had some background. She was like, she could do some gymnastics, but she didn't have the technical like I did. And I didn't have the technical of the martial arts. So we worked together very well in that aspect. And so that was amazing. I mean, truly. And the laughs that I had on that set and working with such amazing people. There are just so many memories. Like, I mean, I can look back and just, first of all, I can remember which outfit I did, what stunt. I loved one of my a favorite stunt I had was running right next to a moving train.
Wow.
I got to jump on the moving train.
Wow.
And there it is cool because the smoke was coming up and it just looks so amazing. Like, and then I also got to jump off that same moving train, do a high fall, which I had never done that. So that was pretty awesome because you have to really, your timing has to be correct on that because you don't want to jump off too early or too late. You want to make sure you hit that pad.
Yes.
correctly. So that was another amazing time that I did on Buffy, but I had so many. I mean, it really is. And it was awesome. I learned so much and to do it on a regular basis for that many years. And then I luckily was able to follow Sarah for so long. I mean, I did Scooby-Doo 2 with her. I did The Grudge with her. I did The Ringer with her. And, I did quite a lot of other things. Yes. So it was nice, you know what I mean? That we had a connection to be able to keep going and do other things.
Yes.
So it was great.
What an amazing experience. And
Yeah.
I love what you brought up too, that, you had, a couple doubles for Buffy. And I want to bring out the point that you reiterated earlier is that you had your skill set and then the other double had her skill set. Yes. And you're competing against each other in terms of like trying to get the best shot for that actress in terms that you're pushing each other in your own skill set. You wanted to really be able to rise to the occasion with your skill set that you brought to the table. And so did your fellow double. So there wasn't a competition of like one skill's better than the other. That's what makes a beautiful collaboration and what brings a movie possible, right, Michelle, is that everyone has their skill set to own it and to share with others. And
oh my gosh,
one is not necessarily better than the other. It's everybody has great variety to bring. And that's what makes a good stunt person.
You are totally right. There are things that she could do that I was like, dang, wow, that's awesome. And of course it pushed me to work harder to learn some of those, and she helped me, or vice versa. I'm a very vocal stunt woman. She wasn't. So which she learned from me of that kind of part of it, and that part is part of the acting part that I learned early on. And I brought it to the table because I'm a very passionate person in that way. So when I fight, and I love to fight, that's one of my that's the favorite thing I love to do is fight. And so I'm very vocal when I fight, and that works in there because you're going to be vocal if someone's going to be hitting you or you're going to be in a fight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's things that we both brought to the table, and you're right. It was a really great, healthy relationship that we are still amazing friends. And we just cherish the moments that we were there together and working as friends And it was really, really awesome. I can't tell you. We learned a lot from the Sophia Crawford was the original, and she was amazing.
Wow.
And she had a martial arts background.
Okay.
So I remember just watching her, studying how she did things. Again, we learn from everybody. And I have worked with Sophia since then. Amazing, sweet, kind, wonderful, wonderful woman.
Yeah.
So it's great when we all should work together, and help each other, and in every way. There's a lot to go around. There's,
Yes.
And if I don't get it, and say, Jackie, you get it, I'm happy for you. I mean,
Yeah.
the same thing. We should be like that way for one another.
Absolutely. To
Yeah.
support, because in the end, you care about the craft and you care about the art,
Yes.
and telling a story and seeing each other succeed and support each other.
Yeah. You're supposed to be making this actress look the best that she can look.
Exactly.
Okay. Whether it's me or not, but I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it every time, and do whatever I can. So
Yes.
that's our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, would you say, Michelle, that you get just as much joy out of recommending someone?
Yeah.
If you hear of a job coming and say, hey, that person's got a great skill, or, they're going to be a great fit.
Yeah.
You have more joy out about recommending someone for a position that as much as getting it yourself. It's just exciting to pay it forward and to help others.
And I always am completely honest. And I have to say that, and anybody who is in this field should always be honest about what your skills are and what you can or cannot do.
Yes.
Because when we're talking about stunts, it's dangerous. People can get hurt. I have gotten hurt, but I've been doing this for quite a long time. But you got to be honest about it. And that's always what I am, honest. If somebody comes to ask me and I refer somebody, I'm say, hey, this is where they're at. Hey, they're green, but I've worked with them before and they have great fighting skills. This is what I know. I'm just going to give you just my honesty. Or, hey, this girl can do this. She's not as good at, maybe not as, that's not her specialty.
Forte, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to be honest about everything and let them know, because number one, as we keep talking, safety, number one.
Yeah.
So no one wants to get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt on my watch, on their watch, on anyone's watch, because that's not fun. And also it's a lot of money for the production, a lot of money. Plus they also have to, to deal with that. That's not a good thing. You don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's bringing up, kind of what I find, that you have this amazing competitive nature in yourself that gives you drive. And we talk about this industry and even in the equestrian world as well. There's so many, in any industry, really, there's this competitive drive that helps people succeed. And it's a very competitive environment. But we have to remember that, would you say that it's really neat how you brought up the collaborative experience, is that we're not competing against each other. We're competing against ourselves and trying to make a better version of ourselves by being inspired by others pushing themselves and the lessons they learn that can help us grow in our particular skill set or craft or whatever we're choosing to do in our career.
You're completely right, Jackie. You're completely. I mean, when I came on Buffy, I was young. I was nervous. I did not have a martial arts background. Yeah, I watched what Sophia did because I wanted to learn from her. Let's see what kind of, what she had been doing the last, all the other seasons and what she brought to the table. And I wanted to learn from her. We all want to better ourselves to make the best version of, whoever we're portraying, whatever double we're doubling or whatever. So yeah, you're right. We're kind of competing against ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. What do you feel was a major turning point in your career, or some pivotal moment that kind of jumps out to you that really made a difference in your life, an impactful lesson that you feel that you could really pay forward and is maybe helping to guide your steps as you continue in this career path?
I don't know there is any like a pivotal moment. I mean, I guess I'm older now. I've got a lot of pivotal moments.
No,
like a pivotal moment, meaning when I got the call that they wanted me to even audition for Buffy. I mean, that was huge. I live in Florida. They shoot out in California.
Yeah.
Like, really? I've got a family. What am I going to do? That was a huge
Yes.
pivotal moment, but that was a pivotal moment that I knew that I had to take. I mean, I
Yeah.
was like, this is it. I've got to take that. That was the pivotal moment. There's so many, there's pivotal moments of, coming back to Florida after I did Buffy. I guess I didn't know whether I should stay there and still continue stunts. But luckily, I came back to the East Coast, and I did that more for family reasons and things like that. I want to be more with my family. But you know, paying it forward is something we all should do as a human being. And I truly do love doing that. I love teaching. And if I think about, even when I was younger, I coached gymnastics and taught classes, and I still love doing that. And I love helping people and then seeing them move on. Jackie, you've done it with me. You were,
Thank you.
we clearly
Yes.
have brought people to
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and worked together and helped them. And it took a while. And guess what?
Yes.
We helped them get where they wanted to go, and how it's exciting and it makes you feel so good that they were challenged, and they learned from
Yes.
us and were
Yes.
able to move forward. I mean, what a great reward, not only
Yes.
for them, but for us.
Oh,
And
yes.
we've done that together. You know what I mean?
Yes. And
We've
it's
collaborated on that.
oh my goodness. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
feeling. It's
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
it
I mean, I
is.
first met you. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Michele Waitman.
Oh
And
my
it's like,
God. Oh my
wow. It's like,
God.
but it was just your strength of character and kindness was just so welcoming and warm. And I was like,
Mm.
this is an amazing woman that's, worked so hard for everything. And
And
it's
you know
like
what?
she's a real person, and it's like
We
this
all we let
work
yeah,
with
we
her.
all are we're all human beings. We all
Yeah.
have problems. We all have insecurities. We all, and basically it's helping each other get through those insecurities and
Yes.
build confidence. And with practice and build confidence, that we can go ahead and help one another, and we should, and especially women,
Yes.
having a strong woman is pretty amazing, because I think now it's in this world right now, that we live in. I think it's kind of, how do I want to put this, Jackie? You know what I'm saying? It says, things have changed a lot since
Yes.
years ago. You're right.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
why even Buffy is still so, like, back then. Think about that. This strong woman was just, she was the hero. Come
Yes.
on. And so, even so, think about that way back then, and even now. I think just as much as we can as women to help one another, to be the best that we can be, is amazing, and we all
Yes.
should. And that's, it's awesome.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen. And
yeah.
and speaking of being a woman, I want to bring up, I think, to kind of culminate everything, I
Mhm.
believe your most amazing achievement, and
Ooh.
I can say this as a dear friend, is seeing you balance your career, but most importantly, a devoted wife and a loving mother. So tell us just a little bit
It's
about your family
Oh my
and how
goodness.
you kind of balance all of that.
Well, it's hard. Always, everyone has, goes through stuff, and it's definitely difficult at times, but working together, that's what you need to do. And my husband and I met at Indiana Jones, where my biggest stunt ever is having twin boys.
And your and
That's
your husband is
and my husband is Jimmy Waitman,
okay.
who doubles Jack Black.
Fantastic.
And my boys have done stunts too. Now we did not really push them into it, but they started off and did a little acting, and they had commercials when they were little, because especially twins, it's always a nice help when you're in the commercial business. And
Yes.
so they started off and got their SAG cards when they were just doing like a CVS commercial, and just another commercial, you know what I mean, Geico
Yeah.
commercial. And then they did stunt double Zach and Cody for a movie that they had done. And so they've done a little bit on their own, which I'm very proud of them.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, they've been my biggest stunt ever. But
Because
they
anyone that knows you, Michelle, you're very, very tiny and petite. And to have twins,
I know,
like
when I
what?
when I found out, I was just like, what? That can't happen. What do you mean? It's not in our family. I'm just hot, 5'2". What? Can they really fit? Can they fit? But they can. And it's pretty amazing. I have two wonderful boys that are just amazing, kind, handsome, talented, smart, and I'm very proud of them. And here, I'm going to tell you that one of them works at Indiana Jones with me. And guess
Yay.
what? My second one just auditioned. I don't know whether you know this, but
I
he
did not know.
also has a job there and is going to be training there.
Oh my goodness. So the whole Waitman family
I
will
know.
officially be
We'll have
Indiana
work
Jones.
there at Indiana Jones.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
And
How
so
fantastic.
yeah, very excited because I'm excited to beat up on the other one too. I got to beat on one. So I always like to keep things fair and square.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I already beat up on Jake, so I've got to beat up on Zach. So,
yes.
yeah.
So speaking of being fair and square,
Yeah.
like what would you say was just the biggest challenge to balancing the career and the family, raising a family, being a full-time mom, and also a full-time stunt woman? And what tool helped you? Because you are making it a success. So how have you been successful in that?
Well, I was lucky enough to have good support system with my family, and to be able to help with times where I needed to, whether I'm going off for a certain time, where they were able to help me watch them, family and friends. If I had a great support system with that, because a lot of times you may get a gig, whether it's a day gig, a week, maybe it's a month, maybe you're off. You know what I mean? So it is challenging. But then also, then when you get the times when you get with them, such quality time, so it makes it so worthwhile. Because I feel bad for some, who say they work, all day long and they barely get that quality time with their children. I have been lucky, and also in my field, lucky enough that they've been able to travel with me, to go to Hawaii, to go to London and see
Yes.
places they've never seen because of our jobs, and to be able to experience stuff that's and experience life. And how wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
so it has been pretty amazing on that end. It is hard. I think it's actually hard on anybody, any working mom and dad, if to balance it all. It's always tough.
Yes.
And it's it just takes numbers in a village, like they say, to
Yes.
help. And that's what I just, everybody has to lean on people that they care about and their support system, whether it's family and friends, to be able to keep them safe, and to be able to do what you want to do in love. And I think
Yes.
that makes me a better mom or
Yes.
a better dad for people, back and forth, because
Yes.
then I'm doing what I love, but I also am coming back to them being happy, and to be able to give them my all too, because
Yes.
they're your number one, and they're of course my number one in my life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My kids could, yeah, number one.
That's your number one priority.
Number
That's
one priority. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
for sure.
It's
And they
so
always stay that way, even if
yes.
people have little ones. When they're older, in their 20s, whatever, they're still your babies.
So always.
They're always your babies. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and it helps you understand with your parents too. Now I know more, even with my own parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's beautiful.
That's so beautiful, Michele. What impact or legacy do you want to leave? Do you want to continue to work towards leaving in your career, in your family? And how does that one core thing that you really want to leave, how does that guide you every day and motivate you every day?
I would say continue to pay it forward, in every way that I can, with helping people, and giving them the knowledge that I have learned for so long, and what the blessings that I've got and got to experience, through my stunt career. If I'm able to help somebody else and keep them safe, and them to learn from it and go forward, I mean, how great is that? That is amazing. And I will continue to do that till hopefully to the day I die. I mean, I want to keep helping people. And just also with that, being kind to one another.
Yes.
I mean, and that's just a normal, a human being, being kind and treating people like you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's, I think for sure, because you never know who, some people, whether they're hurting in a certain way.
Yeah.
And your words of wisdom, or whether your words of just, hey, how you doing? Or your hug, or whatever you do, you don't realize how much that could help someone, especially if they are going through something that you don't even know about.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think that everyone should hopefully continue to do that, and try to be, kind to one another, and especially in the way this world is right now and all the things that are happening. But yeah, I would say just paying it forward, and not only it gives them something to, but also what, like I said, makes me feel amazing, and look what it gives to me,
Yes.
in my
Yeah.
heart,
Yes,
right,
yes,
right,
yeah, absolutely. And I think
yeah,
that's what's so beautiful too, Michelle, is I look upon you, and I want other people to know this about you as well, as being a deeply Christian woman, and that you do everything through God, and God strengthens you, and
yeah. I do,
it's
I do,
beautiful.
and if I can say this one, there
Yes,
was this is a story that I had.
please.
There was a stunt that I had to do, and I was scared. I'm not a high diver. I'm a gymnast, but I know what I can do with my body. And so when I was told a specific thing, whether, hey, can you jump off this bridge? It's 35 feet into like 15 feet of water. I'm like, yes, I can do that. I know what I can do. Then you get to the set and it's completely different. Things are different. And I was really worried. I had water safety that were not happy about the situation, and they told me that it was unsafe. There was a couple other things that were unsafe a little bit. They had found like a grocery cart in the bottom of the right where I
Oh
was
my
jumping.
goodness.
There's a couple things that happened, and I just remember I was praying and praying and praying, and I remember there was a song by Carrie Underwood that and she sings a lot of Christian songs, and that I just kept going over my head. And I went over it with Jimmy used to be a high diver. And so I had talked to him what I needed to do. And I was scared. I really was. And I thought, oh my gosh, can I do, but I knew I had faith, and I had faith that God put me there in that position. I knew my body, and I knew what to do.
Mhm.
So I said, I knew once I hit that water, because it had changed. It was like over 40 feet. It was then had changed to 7 feet of water. So it was somebody I felt that should be like a high diver to be able to go and scoop in and come out. And again, I'm not a high diver. But I knew that if once my toes hit, just sit, Michelle, sit on your booty, just sit down, and then because you didn't want to come straight down,
No.
break your ankles, break your legs, whatever. And so I did it, but I was praying to God, like, I know you're with me, and I know he was, or I wouldn't have done it. And I knew that I knew my body well enough that I knew that I could do it. So I was bruised up quite a bit on the back end. Had to do it a couple times, but it was I did it, and I was very grateful that I had the faith that I knew I could. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And just feeling that I know God was on my side, and He was right there. He was watching me. They actually asked me to do it a third time. I said no. I felt that I knew that was I
Yeah.
needed that was good. And guess what? Did he make it to the movies?
Oh no. I hit the cutting room
Ah!
floor.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But
Oh,
that happens all the time too.
yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was, it's an experience, and I've learned
Yes.
a lot of different things, in
Yes.
my career. And that was one, but I knew that God was on my side, and
So
um,
great.
it was good. It was
So
good.
faith gave you the courage
Yeah,
to do your stunts, and that's
yeah,
just so beautiful. I love it.
yeah.
To kind of wrap up, if you had to list one or a couple character traits or qualities that define you, what would it be?
I should ask you that. I don't know. Yeah, I hope, again, kindness. I hope
Yes.
that defines me. I hope strength, because I feel I really work hard at being a strong woman, physically, and just in every way. I really try hard. So I would say kindness, strength. I hope, and again, I would say I hope I'd say loyalty. I really am loyal to my friends, my family, anybody who needs me. I'm loyal. Um, what other? I can't sing. I would love to say I'm a singer. I'm a singer at heart. That's not a trait I have. Wait, that's not a talent I have, I guess. That's not a trait.
But Michele, for those of us that have heard you sing, when you sing with your heart, it's so much fun and it's full of love and it's awesome.
Exactly.
You commit.
I would say so that I guess those are the qualities, I think. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
That's beautiful. Yes. And I can reiterate for many of us that have the joy of knowing you and people that are going to meet you and hopefully are meeting you just now through this podcast, we'll see those traits come through, and those traits and stories will actually, I believe in my heart, help to inspire them and help them grow in their lives and their careers and goals. So before we leave, is there any one little thing that you want to say or leave us with, Michele? Because it's been an absolute delight.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I love Jackie. We've been friends for a very, very long time, and we've worked together quite a bit. And I feel honored that you've asked me to be on your podcast. I am very blessed that we have our friendship, because I truly love you. And I'm just so glad that our lives have met and we've meshed, you know what I mean? That we you know what I mean? Had that connection.
Yes.
And that's just a blessing that I'm just super, super grateful at. I'm grateful of. I mean, I really am. And I'm so happy. Thank you for asking me to be here. And sometime maybe I'll come back and say hi.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to happen. We should have Jimmy and you together. That would be fantastic. Or
the boys, actually, the boys could come.
The whole family. I would love that. We'd have the Waitman family.
But it's been a pleasure talking to you and everyone out there, and hopefully they got, I don't know, they hopefully enjoyed it, I guess. We
had fun. I think if we have fun, it's contagious. And,
exactly.
And we're grateful for all the listeners that tune in. And I am so grateful, Michele, for you joining us and being our inaugural guest. I couldn't think of a person more delightful and strong and faith-filled to have as our first guest to kick this adventure off. And you are a beautiful soul, and I know you touched so many lives and will continue to do so. It has been my great joy. God bless you, Michele Waitman.
Thank you. Love you.